Welcome to episode 20 of Inclusion with Mansi. I'm your host, Mansi Chandorkar. Each week, we're going to discuss various areas of inclusion and how you can be an inclusion champion. Today, in conversation with Anjali Bapat, we shall explore all about art based therapy, its benefits, and how it can be used towards inclusion. Welcome, Anjali, to Inclusion with Mansi. Can you please introduce yourself to the listeners?
Hello, everyone. My name is Anjali Bapat. I'm a special educator. I'm an arts based therapist. I'm also a trainer for heartfulness meditation, and I'm coordinating many programs with schools, for teachers, and for students.
There's so much that you do. But today we're going to focus on what is art based therapy because I think that is something interesting and new and different for everyone to know. So, can you tell us what is art based therapy? What does it include?
Okay, so arts based therapy, or ABT as it's commonly known, uses visual art, music, and drama to meet therapy goals for the individual or groups who are participating in this therapy. So, when I talk about visual art, it can be any kind of media, it can be a crayons or paints, or sometimes even you can just choose materials that you find around and use it like craft or clay. So many things that we use as part of visual art. We use it for therapy to meet the therapy goals. In music, we use various percussion instruments. I use djembes a lot because I find it's really a vibrant medium of creating an instant connect, and there's so much work that can be done through djembes. There's maracas, or there's so many different kind of instruments that we can use in the music part of it. Of course, your own voice and creating songs, rhythms, that's also part of using music for therapy. And in drama, we can use various methods, such as we can use puppets. You can use like a small family of dolls or something to create a situation. You can have various props such as hats, coats, scarves, and just to add that fun element and really get into the character. So these are the various methods or tools that we use for ABT.
This sounds quite exciting. Like a lot of fun stuff is happening over here. So, what is the population with which you can use ABT with?
So I'm specifically trained to work with children with special needs, but it's not necessary that you be neurodiverse to avail of this therapy. Neurotypical people also going through a difficult situation can benefit tremendously through arts-based therapy. For example, in my amongst my peers, there is someone who is working with trafficked women who have been rescued and getting them back into society. She's using arts, ABT, as a medium to get them out of whatever they have suffered. There is one of my peers who's working with runaway children at the railway station because they're at high risk of a lot of emotional damage that has happened to them. So to help them through that difficult time, I have a friend who is working in a cancer hospital in the children's ward to help the children through a difficult time, such as chemotherapy or maybe facing a very uncertain end. There is someone who's working in a de-addiction center. So ABT works wonderfully in various settings and with various populations, whether neurotypical or neurodiverse. It can work as a group therapy or as an individual also.
That was my next question. Would you use it individually or in a group? So I'm glad you said that. It is for neurodiverse and neurotypical, all beings held together. It's for any age group, like you mentioned, for even kids, adults, all across their lifespan, and it can be done individually and as a group. With your experience, can you tell us a little more about how you have used ABT as a group and with inclusion?
Yes. So one thing that is always a lot of fun is using a drum circle as a means of inclusion. So you take a varied group. Some now, because I'm working in school setups, there'll be some children who learn differently or have diverse needs, and there'll be some typically developing children, and we put the whole group together, and then we start the drum circle. We have various techniques such as call and response, or you increase the volume, decrease the volume, increase the speed, decrease the speed, and you have a very specific goal in mind even when you're conducting this drum circle, and you're very gently leading it towards that goal. And it's so vibrant, it's so much fun, and there's an instant connect between everyone when you're doing something like a drum circle, which is beyond words. It's beyond gender, and it's beyond age also, because I've been part of drum circle where there are old people, there are absolutely youngsters, people from all backgrounds just bond together somehow. There's something magical about a drum circle. So I think using a drum circle as a means of inclusion is really, really fun, and it's very memorable. People never forget. Oh, that time, remember we did this, and remember we came up with that song, how we came up with it together as a group. That's something people never forget.
Yeah, it sounds like a good activity even to do as team building with your
Yeah, yeah,
office people in school, with staff, and
absolutely.
even with groups of children, especially when you know that there are certain groups of children who tend to fight with each other a lot more, and including them and making them as a part of one group, and to see that yes, we belong together and we can work together well.
Absolutely.
So, can you tell us a few benefits of art based therapies?
So, as I was saying, that I have been working specifically with children, so I can say that attention span definitely was a big winner when I was doing APT with children. Cognitive abilities improved. Then their expressive language of expressing what they really feel, their needs, that also went up. Then also their general coordination and body movements also is impacted positively. So there are many advantages to ABT. A general sense of well-being and happiness is just there, so the children are just waiting for the session. In fact, when I used to walk into school, the some children who were doing ABT with me used to say, "When is ABT? When is ABT?" The minute they saw me, they couldn't wait to get into the ABT session. So, apart from all these benefits, which are measurable, we did do a pre and post intervention, and found that almost on all these counts, there were very meaningful improvements. But a general sense of well being and happiness is what I think is overall even more important than these measurable benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been part of some of your APT sessions, or at least had sneak peeks into them, and it has been so much fun. And all the kids have had such nice things to say, and they just like count down to say, okay, now is it time for class with Anjali Di? When can we meet her again? So it has been like a very positive and exciting experience. Would you like to share your personal experience with some story that you think that has touched you and you remember, and how ABT has helped a student of yours?
So there are so many stories. Actually, it's difficult to come up with one, but maybe one that I can think of is how it helps children to express themselves. So typically, a child, maybe a 6 or 7 year old, this child had a global learning difficulties, and so if you would ask her, how do you feel when you're in your mainstream class? She would say, nice, fine. There was nothing beyond that. But when we created a situation, such as I had a small group of wooden dolls, and I created a classroom, and I said, okay, now these are all children in the class, and this is the girl who is coming into the class. Now, what are they all saying to each other? And the kind of conversation that she created between these children was very, very telling. So she said, "This girl is very sad." I said, "Why is that?" She said, "Because no one wants her to sit with them on their chair." So I said, why does she have to sit with them on their chair? So they said, because there is no chair for her in the class. Now, this she would have never expressed to us. So, this was probably happening that the chair that was kept for her, because she was shifting between two setups, the resource room and the mainstream class. But maybe the chair over there was maybe temporarily not there. But then that was impeding her being included by her peers, because they were being put at a discomfort because she didn't have a place to sit. So many things came up in this, and we could address them. We could make positive changes. She was much happier in her class. So, small things like expressing how she's feeling uh, came out because of an activity like this, which she would have never been able to tell us directly. That I feel left out, I feel not accepted. She would have never been able to say that in words, but through this small drama, she was able to express something so important to us.
Yeah, and those are big feelings, right? Wanting to be a part of a group and belonging to your classroom is so important to every child. And for her to be there was important to her. But how do I express my big feelings? So, ABT is a way that can help, express feelings and helps with emotions and conversations and, just basic expressive skills in different ways. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the listeners? Something that really seems to, stick with you? I know you have many, many stories to
Yeah,
share, but
it's
maybe one
difficult to
more.
pick few of them. But I think another one that stands out for me is when I was doing visual art with a child with cerebral palsy, and the theme or the goal of that session was self concept, to able to accept that I am someone with special needs and be happy about it. So it's not that easy. It's a bit abstract, but that was where that whole session was headed, and I had a very clear goal in mind that how I want her to be feeling by the end of these few sessions that we have. So I said, okay, let's paint whatever you feel like. So I put some music, and then she had a nice time. She painted something. I said, okay, what is this? So she said, this is a very special bird. And the bird is very talented, is very special, is very different. Then she had drawn some things next to it. I said, what are these? She said, they are some birds who laugh at this bird, but this bird doesn't care because she knows she's special. And then there was another bird who was standing very close to her. I said, who is this? She said, this is the bird's best friend. And even though she's not like this special bird, they both are very good friends. So I thought that was so wonderful. And it told me that yes, she has developed a positive self concept. Though she's not directly saying this is me or these are my classmates and this is my best friend. It says it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is another thing that I recall. There are many, many such stories which used to blow me away, but these are two that I can think of right now.
Thank you for sharing with us. So, Anjali, we're going to talk to you a lot more in the upcoming episodes. We're going to discuss about something you had mentioned to me before this interview, that we're going to talk about something you really like, Zen painting.
Yes.
So, stay tuned to listen to Anjali about Zen painting in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Anjali.
Thanks so much, Mansi, for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Inclusion with Mansi. If you've enjoyed today's episode, do share the podcast with your family and friends. I would love to hear your feedback. You can connect with me on my Facebook page or Instagram at Inclusion with Mansi. You may also email me at inclusionwithmansi@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time, remember to share our similarities and celebrate our differences.